Good evening. This is such a proud day for all the graduates here and their families, and I'm so honored to be asked to be a speaker tonight. Although I'll warn you ahead of time, I'm terrified of public speaking, so bear with me and I'll do the best I can. In all honesty, my intentions for the GED program were to get in and get out as quickly and quietly as possible. Only a few people in my adult life even knew that I hadn't finished high school, and I had no desire to share that information with anyone new. It was something I'd always been ashamed of. When I initially dropped out of high school, I told myself I would immediately go get my GED and be done with it. But then life sets in. I found myself making excuses such as, next year would be a better time to start the process, or when things slow down at work, I'll sign up for classes. Before I knew it, I was married with a toddler and an infant, but still no GED. I started wondering how I could push my children to succeed in school when I had never bothered to push myself. If either one of my sons decided to drop out of school, I would be so deeply saddened by the decision, but would I really have any room to criticize them? So I decided to take the first step. I called Southern State Community College and asked the operator for any information she could give me about adult GED classes. She transferred me to the Adult Opportunity Center, where I enrolled in night classes in Greenfield. I remember driving to my first class. I was so scared out of my mind I actually turned the car around once. I had no idea what to expect, but I knew how much I hated high school, so how different could this be? It had been 9 years since I had attended school, and I knew I had a huge amount of catching up to do. I had visions of my GED teacher saying, "I'm sorry, Alexandra, but you're just too dumb. There's no hope." My husband had always told me I was smart, but let's face it, he's kind of obligated to. But regardless of my anxiety, I walked into the classroom and took a seat. My teachers, Ronnie and Sally, were already there, and my nerves were immediately calmed by simply watching their demeanor. The room was filled with other adults, some older, some younger, but all there for the same reason. There was no judgment as I had feared. It was actually the opposite. Ronnie and Sally celebrated our decisions to pursue our GEDs. As my classes progressed, my confidence level rose, and I realized that I actually enjoyed learning again. Who knew? The overwhelmingly positive atmosphere that was created by my teachers was one that encouraged self-discovery. I barely knew my teachers, and yet I felt as though they were really right behind me, pushing me to succeed. I listened to the stories of my classmates and marveled at some of the things I heard. These people were so smart, and the obstacles that some of them had had to overcome show an admirable amount of strength. Everyone was helping each other to try to accomplish a common goal. Before I knew it, Ronnie and Sally pulled me aside to tell me they thought I was ready to take the GED test. They were far more excited than I was. But I agreed, and my class wished me luck for the big day. When I passed my GED test, I immediately went back to my class and celebrated with them. I was greeted with hugs and smiles. I knew they would be following me shortly and that they were genuinely happy for me. I'm now in my second semester of classes at Southern State Community College and couldn't be happier about the direction of my life. No one ever plans to drop out of school, but in all reality, sometimes situations arise in our lives that cause us to make decisions we hadn't anticipated. We've all heard the saying, hindsight is 20/20. When we look back over our lives, there are things we probably would have done differently. But when those things concern our education, we are lucky there are programs like the Adult Opportunity Center. This program encourages adults who may have lost their way and reminds us that it is never too late to start learning again. Everyone who is a part of the Adult Opportunity Center share their time and energy because they truly believe that an education is an investment that is never wasted. My instructors are two people who teach because they love it and inspire by example. They made me realize that I am capable of anything and awoke in me a passion for learning that I never knew I had, and for that I am eternally grateful. Graduates, when you start something, anything, where there is a chance for failure, it's terrifying. But in the end, when you succeed, the feeling of pride is overpowering. It doesn't matter where in life you are or where you've been. You've accomplished something great, and for that you should be very proud. Congratulations. You well deserve it. Thank you.
Our next student speaker is actually a former student.